I never made a move on an old crush, and I still live to regret it. Back in 8th grade, I volunteered to become a TA, or a teacher assistant, for one of my teachers during second semester. When I finally got to class, it turned out that I was going to be helping my math teacher out during her planning period at the end of the day. But the nice thing was that I wouldn't be alone. Next door, for one of the social studies teachers, a girl named Esme would also be an assistant teacher. And what made it even better was that I knew this girl, since she was one of the people who I had met on my first day in this school during LA in 7th grade. So that's how the days went. I used to help my teacher out, but sometimes both teachers would need copies of paper printed out. So we used to go to the printing room in the office together. Also, if I was finished with my work and she needed help in her classroom, I would join her and assist her with the tasks. Overall, it was a very fun time. And because we spent so much time together, since we were the only two students in the two classrooms during that period, we got to talk a lot. She told me a lot of things about herself, how she had a brother, how she was a hardcore Swiftie and a Marvel fan, and how she lived next door to her grandma. With that, I also shared stuff about myself, and how unlike her close proximity to her grandparents, mine resided very far away. And just like this, time passed. We would talk and work, and have fun while doing it, getting to know each other and being productive. However, I can remember the exact day that I started to fall for her, and how that moment was like. I had just finished doing all my tasks in the classroom, and because I was bored, I decided to pull out a new book I had gotten. I didn't even think about going to her classroom and seeing what she was up to since I really wanted to get into the book. So that's what I did. However, just a few minutes later, as the period was almost over, she stood outside the classroom with her backpack. I sensed the presence, so I turned my head toward the open door and saw her, and she waved and asked if she could come in. So I said yes. Once she came in, she started talking about some random stuff, but because I was super locked in on the book, I didn't pay too much attention, and I kept on trying to get back to my book. But she kept on going anyways, and soon, I put the book down, knowing I wasn't going to be able to read it peacefully, and chatted with her. Ever since that day when I went home, the image of her standing at the door with her backpack kept on replaying in my head, and unknowingly, for some strange reason, I started to have a crush on her. This might be because she was always trying to talk to me, but whatever it was, I started to like her. To describe her more, she was perfect in every sense. She was responsible, socially smart, kind, and even exceptionally pretty, and though I had never noticed it before, that moment opened my eyes. Soon, I started thinking about her more, and a while after the semester started, I tried to talk to her as much as I could, and run into her whenever it was convenient. Esme never caught on, but I could feel my feelings just expand crazily. Eventually, in May of that year, a school dance was scheduled, and I debated whether or not I should ask her out, but I suppressed my feelings and decided I shouldn't, or rather I couldn't. When the dance happened, I decided to go alone since I still wanted to experience it, but I caught her from the side by having fun and jumping in a circle with her friends, and I felt sad I couldn't have done that with her. But I coped by telling myself that the dance was more a platonic one, and that if I had asked her out, she wouldn't have been able to dance in large groups with her friends. So I moved on. At the end of the year, when we got our yearbooks, even though I knew her well, I also couldn't bring myself to ask her for her signature in my yearbook, and this I regret to the current day. The next year in high school, since we were at different skill levels, I didn't have her in any of my classes, and soon I rarely saw her at school. That's why I regret not making a move, because I had a very good chance with her, but I blew it by being afraid of rejection or awkwardness. Now, my feelings for her have dissipated, but writing this brings back good memories. Due to this regret, I have made a promise to myself that if I ever have the opportunity to talk to her properly again, I will tell her about the crush I used to have on her, and hopefully, we will reminisce on the fun we had together. And that's why